Join us and unwind with a good book. Welcome to Relaxing Reads.
Hi, it's Deb in Halifax.
Hi, it's Simone in Vancouver.
Hey, it's Tanya in Edmonton.
Nice to see you, ladies. And Deb, you recently had some time off.
What'd you do?
Well, I got some ink.
A tattoo.
Oh, fantastic.
Is that your first tattoo?
No.
Oh, no.
This
Okay.
is my third. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. I did post it on my socials. So I went, a group of girls I went to university with, we lived in residence together. And there are 12 of us who normally hang out. We're in different parts of the country. Some are stateside. And we try to, if not every year, every other year, try to get together for some mini trips. And so this time it was 8 of us. And a few years ago, a few of them got the number 5 tattooed. And that was the floor we met on in residence.
Wow.
So, yeah. Anyway, I thought, okay, I'm going to get a number 5 at some point, but I didn't want to just get the number. So I did some research on flowers and what friendship or what flower might represent friendship. And the Peruvian lily was the first one that came up.
Oh, that's so nice.
So,
well thought
and
out.
I got the number 5 in the center. Yeah.
So you guys are really close.
Yeah.
That group. Wow.
That's
University
nice.
is such a, I didn't go to university, but it's such an influential time.
It is.
You know, you're young, first time away from home, and everybody bonding together. Yeah, it's very cool. I tell people, like, just go to university just for the culture.
Yeah.
Just because you learn so much stuff, like I did community college a couple of times, but did live in res, but not like the whole, anyway. Where did you guys go for your girls' weekend?
I mean, for me, it wasn't very far. Chester, south of Halifax, not, maybe 40 minutes outside the city, but
is that Chester Basin? Chester?
Yeah, same area. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's Chester Basin, all kind of in the same area. But yeah, it was a big our Airbnb. We were the first ones to stay in this house. It was a fun weekend. We're a different stage talking about all our ailments.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, still sharing some fun stories and having a drink or two, but it's kind of a different take at this stage.
Yeah, life changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
this book.
Yeah. Oh,
get
my
into
gosh.
it.
Well, our latest read, The Offing by Roz Nay, is quite the twister. Ivy is in trouble. A recent breakup has left her humiliated and raw. So when her best friend Regan offers her a month-long escape in the form of a trip to Australia, it feels like a lifeline, one that she grabs with both hands. Together, they set off into tropical heat, but it's not long before doubts start to creep in. So are the girls simply claustrophobic, or have they stumbled into something they don't understand? The past threatens to catch up with them. Dark secrets emerge. It's a dangerous cat and mouse game on land and at sea that keeps you guessing until the very last page. It's dark, and it does keep you on the edge of your seat. And one for me, it was really easy to binge. How about you, ladies?
Yeah, super easy to read. I felt the short chapters, so that helps with my attention span. I felt like every chapter sort of ended with a, and then you're like, oh, I got to get to the next chapter and the next chapter, So easy read. It just, the pages just kept going for sure.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, we've read some pretty exciting books, and usually it's okay, I'll get to it, but you might miss a day or two. With this one, I was like, I want to keep going, and found the time to read. Like sometimes I know we don't make the time or we push it a little later, but this one was, especially the first, I want to say 2/3 of the book. That really had me going. Obviously, the end and the conclusion was exciting, but the beginning, the build-up, I love a good build-up because it just sucks you in, and then you're like, okay, now I'm kind of getting answers. But in the beginning, it's just that was exciting for me.
Yeah, well, you get to know all the characters, right? And then, I don't know, I mean, I like to keep notes as I read because I just don't remember everything. And I'm like, oh, Christopher's the bad guy. No, he's not. No, Desh is the bad guy. And then you Thatcher. It's like I had all this. I thought I had it figured out, and then I didn't have it figured out at all. Especially when you get to the end, I'm like, I did not see that coming. So, really good character development. I think just keeping these characters interesting and all of that. And hey, I've always wanted to go to Australia, and I've never been. So in a way, to be on a boat. These
Which
two
is
young
scary.
women, Ivy and Regan. I called her Regan. It could be Reagan. I don't know. But they go off on this adventure on a boat, and wow.
Yeah, and it's
crazy.
The twists and turns, right? When you realize how they're connected together through, Thatcher and that, you don't really see that coming. And just the journey of their friendship and information they've withheld from each other. Like Deb, we were just talking about you and your relationship with your friends and things like that. You think about is there some information your friends have withheld from you or you don't know? Like we all could have that situation as close as you are with someone. So that was I liked seeing how that unfolded and how they kind of resolved that and came to be, because there was a lot of tension between the two friends as well during this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely not my group. We let it all out there. There might be some little things and maybe how we remember certain incidents that come out, or perhaps a few who are not in our same circle any longer, that we've shared stuff with them and didn't share it with one or two others. So trying to remember some of those deep, dark secrets, although certainly not anything like Ivy and Regan.
No.
But yeah, and Tanya, I felt the same way as well. I mean, I had been to Australia, New Zealand, but Australia for a short stint. And I had a couple of friends and cousins who traveled there for several months and worked. Wow. And just young girls in their 20s as well. And they would pick up whatever odd jobs they were able to do because they weren't there for a very long period of time. And they actually, my cousin and one of her friends actually did work on a boat for a time. Oh. So I was kind of thinking about them. It was a little bigger. It was a bigger boat, a bigger crew. However, when you think about all the things that could happen along the way, yeah, there is that very cool vibe with the element of a holiday, traveling around, the water and, but yeah, quite the wild ride.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Ivy and Regan, they didn't know, they're staying at a hostel, and then they found a note or a thing saying, hey, you can crew a ship. What was it? Alone at Last, I think was the name of it. Yeah. And what fun that would be. I could totally get that. Although I'm a little, I know we've talked about this in previous books, I couldn't be on a boat doing night watch in the middle of the ocean. I just, the not being able to see what's out there, that would totally make me crazy. And of course the cramped quarters. I feel like I'm a little bit claustrophobic. I don't know whether I could be in such closed, quarters. And I think I would love to go sailing, and I would do night things, but I would always want the land to be
where you're kind of docked at night, right? Not just anchored.
You go to a bay. Yeah, you're not just in the middle of, oh my.
Well, that was scary.
I've heard it's beautiful. I've heard it's, you get up on the deck and the sky is enormous at night, but my mind would be going, woo, what's out there? What's under us? I would be doing that kind of stuff. So.
Well,
but an adventure. Yeah.
The lure of it, of course, is it is kind of easy money. We just have to sit on this boat and stay up for, the night. And it's an easy way for backpackers or travelers to make money. So I'm sure there's the opportunity at that. But then, like you said, Tanya, that moment where a boat just pulls up right next to you out of nowhere. Yeah. And then you're like, and who are you? And they can just jump onto your boat. There's no escaping. Pirates. Yes, that is scary. Yeah. And this was those moments, because it was kind of who is the bad guy? And just being stuck when you don't know, you've never really met any of these people and you don't really know their information. You're just going in good faith with your friend. But really at the end of the day, something tragic happens. You're thrown off that boat. Nobody knows where you are. It's frightening.
No. Yeah.
And crocodiles and sharks in the water. I just, yeah. The
Australia is full of creepy, crazy things. When it comes to wild, When it
Yes.
comes to things that could kill you,
Yes.
they have bugs and things that are just like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Whereas I heard New
Ugh.
Zealand, like Deb, you mentioned New Zealand, like there's nothing there.
Has
You can just
nothing.
lie out in the grass and there's no spiders or
Yeah.
snakes or anything.
Yeah, I forget what I remember being on a tour bus, and the woman said, no crawlies, no creepies, no. I forget, she had an interesting name for the bugs, but yeah, there was nothing that you had to be concerned about. But as soon as I walked, stepped onto land in Sydney, and my friend who lives there was talking about, oh yeah, you have to be very aware. Although people in Australia love to walk barefoot everywhere. As we
Really?
were talking, there were some big spiders that jumped in my path. And of course, he's lived there for a while, so he knows what's good, what's bad, what's gonna, what's gonna grab you. And they weren't harmful. They were right in the middle of the city. However, had I been by myself, I'm sure I would have
Mhm.
made a bit of a scene in the pub.
Oh, that just gives me like
Yeah.
that feeling. The creepy crawlies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the whole storyline was just very, very interesting. Was there a character that either of you was a little more invested in?
For me, I think Ivy got a little irritating to me. Like, this is just me, because she's
Yeah.
constantly, like, I get it. She's constantly questioning her own worth. She's comparing herself to Regan, who's like got a modeling contract.
Yeah.
So, but she was constantly, I don't know. I find I got a little tired of the inner dialogue that Ivy was having about herself and her insecurities, and then she would do this and then she'd regret it, and it's like it always seemed like a lot for me of that character. I don't know like who my favorite. I kept wanting to figure out Desh, and I never really bonded with him because I always thought he was the guy who did. I always thought he was going to be the bad guy,
Mhm.
and so I don't know who I would, now that I'm done the book, if I look back, like who's my favorite character, I felt for Christopher because, he was sort of like written as sort of the bad guy. And then you find, I felt sorry for him. And then you find out that there's a reason why he bolted the doors from the outside. And you once you get to the end of the novel, you kind of go back through a lot of the scenarios and you're like, I get Christopher now.
Yeah.
I get what was going on with him. But as a reader going through the book, you're like, you just have no idea. Bad guy, good guy, bad guy, good guy. I just don't know. And Blake, like, yeah, he ended up being kind of a good guy.
I wanted to know a little bit more
Or
about
at least
Blake.
a moment.
Yeah.
He's sort of like, what is he, a bounty hunter? What is he?
Like
what is he?
yeah, like an investigator.
Like a
Kind of.
PI.
He
Yeah.
got hired to
Yeah.
go. Yeah, he was, and he's like a hard guy, like on the outside, like just, I can't remember how they described him, but he's been there, done that. You can just sort of see him being like all, weathered, the skin is weathered,
Yeah,
and he's just like this
disheveled.
guy, and he likes to hang out. What is that? I can't remember where that beach was that they went to, but,
Flint
kind of
Beach.
Flint Beach, like rough and tumble kind of guy that's seen it all, seen it all.
And obviously, we didn't like Thatcher, but Thatcher was not very big of a part of the story at the end. It was like Thatcher came, and I was expecting this is gonna go down, and then Thatcher was
Yeah.
gone before we even knew it, and I was like, well, that was easier done than I thought it was going to be
I
to
thought he
get
was going to
him.
be a bigger, yeah.
We'd have to, when we talk to
too.
Roz at some point, we'll have to ask her like what was behind that, because there's a lot of excitement or build up to find like when they finally come face to face, what is going to happen, what is
Yeah.
going to be that, and then it's like Blake just kind of got involved, and then you're like, oh, that's it, bye Thatcher.
That's it.
Like that's oh
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, and thinking that there would be more between Blake and Thatcher and Christopher, and because if you're the two girls, it seemed like everybody was coming at them. All these characters, you couldn't trust them, and yeah, the ones they thought they could trust turned out to be the ones that were the least trustful. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. If it would be turned into a movie, however, I'm sure there would be more time to get to know Thatcher and all of his dealings, the not so nice
But so many.
And that just
things.
brings up a whole thing like of what, this idea of, I mean, he was in a position of authority. He was a professor. And yet he would, we find out that he drugged young women and took pictures of them in awful positions, compromising positions, and you just think, ugh.
Yeah.
And then, branded them with his letter K.
Oh,
It's awful.
disgusting.
Like,
I know.
that was just
Yeah.
like a little snippet that the author kind of put in. I'd actually like to ask her about that, if we get an opportunity to ask her sometime. But like, writing that part in where, you go to university and you're exposed to all sorts of great things, but there's also stuff that can happen too, when you have predatory type people around, and you just always have to be aware, it's sort of like a cautionary tale, I think, too.
Yeah.
Gotta be
You're still
careful.
very young. Very young.
You're still very young. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want
And
to
there's
believe
horrible
that they're
people
good
out there.
people.
Yeah.
Most people are good, but
Yeah.
there's those people like Thatcher Kane who are just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I wanted more, like maybe, yeah.
But so many
wanted to know a
interesting.
little bit more about him and wrap that up a little bit. I don't know what happened to Blake really at the end. I wanted to know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to Christopher. I mean, there's the writer, wrote in police excerpts where they did the interviews and all that. So you get a little piece of kind of where it's going and what happened, but I don't know what happened to those characters. I would like to know what happened. Well, Thatcher we know, but Blake and Christopher, and let's talk about Leela. Jeez Louise.
Oh, that, what it reminded me of? Deb, do you remember reading The Push from Ashley Audrain?
Yes.
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 That's
my
what
gosh.
this reminded me of a little bit, the whole situation with
Yeah.
Leela. And Ashley Audrain was one of the, I think, on the book for this. She recommended this book, and I was like, okay, interesting, because it's a similar kind of story there. But yeah, not expecting that, and lying about the sleepwalking. I didn't know that. That was.
I know.
It's like, wow,
And
11
so
years
young.
old.
11.
Yeah, and she had that ability to be that manipulative and kind of conniving.
So what do you think was wrong? What do you think was her,
Is it mental health?
her
Is
dad-
it
mental health?
the
But she had
situation?
a really kind of demonic, she was really evil.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about bipolar or multiple personalities disorder. There was definitely something else brewing within her. But yeah, demonic would be definitely one some would describe her as. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know. I guess I just wanted to know, what was the issue? Is she going to get help? Is this something that she's 11? I can't imagine, is her life.
Yeah, we didn't really get a wrap up on her. Where we kind of know where everyone else ends up a little bit, Regan and Ivy and stuff. But with Leela, I don't know. Is she with her dad? What's the plan for her?
What's the situation, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to know what happened there.
I think there's definitely room. Hopefully there is something else so we can continue to learn more about these characters, but maybe she's just going to leave it as is for us.
I kind of liked at the end where we read that Desh adopted Pearl, the cat.
Yes.
That was Leela's cat.
Yeah.
And we find out that, obviously animals are very perceptive about people, and they know when they're bad people and good people. And we find out that Leela hated her cat because her cat hated her. And you kind of go, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why Pearl didn't like her.
Yeah.
She could sense it wasn't.
Could sense there's something off about this young girl, It was really cool about the novel that you didn't get, you didn't guess, you couldn't have guessed what eventually happened.
No.
In the end.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because everybody you
like
thought could have had a part of it. Yeah. And even it was thought that, Helen had set up this PI because it was apparent kidnapping and she's trying to find her daughter.
Yeah.
I did not know that's how it went with Helen. I did not expect any of that.
No. And
with
Leela
her
was very innocent.
and leaving
just as
her
she was
voicemails.
explained.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was
yes.
interesting. If she knew that happened to her mom, why is she still leaving voicemails? Right?
She was messed up.
Yeah.
She's messed up.
Yeah.
I think she had a whole other world going on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think so too.
whether it's multiple personalities or just that being able to be that deceptive, but that's, I don't know, like at 11, how could you be so, anyway, do a 360 at the end, you know?
Yeah.
And then you find out all the stuff that has happened and her true nature, or maybe not her true nature, but what she's afflicted with is causing her to do all of these evil things, you know? Like, wow. Yeah, it was a good read. Like, it
was great.
It was, it was good. I thought the author did a great job of, like, you know, making you feel like you're in that space and all the things that are happening on the ocean and all the thing. What do you think? Like, she, you know, the offing, she called it The Offing. That's our novel. The furthest part of the ocean on the horizon.
Yeah.
That's what the offing is. What do you think? What do you think she meant by, like, naming the book The Offing? The furthest. I don't know. I couldn't get that. Obviously,
Right,
she named it for. Yeah, the title of the book. She named it for a reason. You know.
Right. Was it the characters themselves, the boat? You know, somebody going to be, you know, I'm going to off them.
Yeah, that's what I
know.
thought. Like when I thought people would just be dying off and like the offing, they're offed. We've offed all of them.
Yeah, they're offed. Yeah.
Yeah. And just, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's such a peace. There's such a peace when you're on the water. And if you're able to, you know, have those moments where it is just ocean and it is sunset and it's beautiful. And you see, you know, that is the side they probably signed up for, is like, we're going to get on this boat and it's going to be beautiful. We're going to sail. We're going to get to do that, because not many of us will have kind of that yacht charter experience where it's just like a private sailing. And then it ends up being like this, a very uncomfortable situation where you cannot get off this boat and you are literally in the middle of the ocean where there is no signal. Anything can go wrong. And, you know, if you got stuck, you're running out of gas and no boats come and you have no signal and the flares were used incorrectly at the end.
Yes, they were, weren't they?
So it's,
holy moly.
Oh, there's like the beauty side of it. So the offing is such a beautiful like thing to think about. And then there was, like you said, this book was very dark, like with the stuff going on with Thatcher. And then when Leela was screaming, I was like, God forbid something crazy is going on there. And then I was like, is Dish part of something shady like that? What is happening? So there was a lot of times your mind went to dark places. But it was not the ending I expected, but it was one to definitely think about.
Yeah.
Not expected, but I kind of liked it. I went, that didn't know that, you know, didn't catch that. So I kind of liked the way she ended it, because your mind just went to, again, you got kind of go back through the book and go, could I have foreseen? Could I have, you know? And I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, so.
Yeah. Not for me either. I was happy that I didn't, you know, sometimes you skim through the last few pages because you know how it's, and there it is. But no, I'm glad that I took my time. I did have to put it down so I could attend my girls' weekend for a moment. And the whole weekend, not the whole weekend, let's be honest, there were several times where I thought, and I didn't bring the book with me.
Right.
How is it? And we were on water, actually.
Wow.
So, you know, in the morning, it was very calm. And just like the offing, one little ripple, one little wave changes the whole course of the water and how you perceive it. But it was great.
Yeah. Definitely recommend. It's fun.
Good
fun.
book. And I
Easy
never
to read, fun. Yeah.
When we first started like the book club and these conversations, I never realized how much I would love thrillers. Like I don't remember reading a lot growing up, because I like the little rom-coms and I like funny books. I like biographies and things like that. And then, you know, we've read some really good thrillers with yes. And I think her Runner 13 is out too, so that'd be a great one to read. But like those are ones that especially done right. Like this thriller was done right. So it's like, you know, when it's not too easy, you just keep going. And Yeah, definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think the flow of it was good. The pacing was good because sometimes with thrillers, it'll take you up and then you go down, and it takes you up. If there's too many kind of mini climaxes before you actually it gets tiresome when you're like, oh, here, no, it's not this. Oh, here, So when it's just, I like the pacing of how she wrote this book. I didn't get tired of all the mini things, and it all kind of worked for me.
And the police investigation side was neat because reading that, you were like, what happened? Something's happened. And then you could make up scenarios in your head of what could have happened to who, but you didn't really know until the end. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 6 thumbs up.
As long as they're not severed body parts.
Oh, severed. Oh, gosh.
Oh, could you imagine to
like
you wouldn't even obviously know to like go out that way? Like you wouldn't even know like what just happened. Insane. But yeah.
You're in shock. I can't, people.
A wild one. Yeah.
Thank goodness you're in shock. You don't feel anything. I can't imagine.
Always a good time with you ladies. And Roz Nay joins us for the next episode of our Relaxing Reads podcast. So we will chat with her about all things The Offing. Hope you'll tune in. Have a great day.
Thank you for kicking back and relaxing with us. We hope you'll join us again on Relaxing Reads.